agent interaction function. So basically, we are going to start with the from Google GenAI import types. So this is actually creating a structured message types for ADK and GenAI. So agent development kit and for generative AI. Why means because the messages to the agent must follow some content parts format, some format. So this would be given by this particular import statement. So next asynchronous async def call agent async, and we are just passing the query and then runner user ID and then session ID. So this asynchronous function, it is to interact with the agent actually. So it is going to interact with the agent, which means what ADK is asynchronous because it can perform like tool calls, delegates, or even the streams like all required asynchronous messages. So just for the visibility, we are just printing this query. Okay, visibility in the notebook. And also we are going to prepare the message. So we are going to define the role, well-formed ADK message object. We are defining an object like ADK object, which means the message object in the form of like content. Okay, well-formed ADK message object, where we are defining the role as a user. Um, we are also showcasing like no message parts and text content, because ADK does not accept the plain strings. It must get structured into the message objects. This ensures like no multimodal support. The it can able to work with the structured data, which means that it can able to handle like compatibility with the multiple model APIs. And this final response text, it's going to define you if something goes wrong. For example, if something goes wrong, the function will return this message instead of crashing it. So that is what is the final response text, which means the agent did not produce a final result. So it is like no as if we are handling like try except statement. And finally, we are going to execute the agent through the runner. So previously we discussed about the runner. Runner is a engine where we do require to execute the agent. So to execute the agent asynchronously and yield the events, we do require the statement. And ADK does not give one final answer at once, because it produces the multiple events such as like model outputs, tool calls, and then tool results, delegations, and routing decisions, right? So you read them one by one in this loop. If you want, you can print it that also. So it's an optional to show like all events. If you want it, you can able to show like all the events. You can able to study like each and every event. If you want to debug the agent behavior, okay, how often the model runs, or no, when a tool gets invoked, or how memory is updated, or when delegation happens. So this is going to be like extremely useful for debugging. And finally, my event, if event is final response, this is going to tell you the final answer for this turn. So you may get like no 10 events also, like tool calls, internal reasoning, but only one is going to be the actual answer for the user. So, and the to extract like final text, event.content, event.content and event.content.parts, which is going to give you the final response text, which is going to extract the final response text from the generated models. The response is stored in the event content and also as a parts and as a text. So this extract the actual text to show to the user. And also it is handling the escalations. So how it is handling the escalations, which means if any, if the agent is crashed, or if it is refused to answer, or if the tool is failed, or the model occurred an error. So the ADK generates an escalation agent. So this code gracefully handle like all these aspect very appropriately. So finally, if we don't need a further events after a final response, that's why the model breaking it up. So and it is going to print the final response from the agent. So clear display for the notebook, right? So this is what the heart of the agent. We are defining the heart of the agent. So in simple term, this program it converts the user text into the ADK message format. Okay, ADK message format, and sends it to the agent's runner. Okay, and sends it to the agent's runner, and the agent is going to perform like reason. It is going to use tools and it is going to generate events. The function listens to all the events. So the function listens to all the events and identifies the final response and prints the exact agent answer. So it's your agent input output pipeline. So I've executed successfully.